the table. There's not what shit
Give
can we people are talking shit left, right, and center. I know so many fans talking shit about Liverpool, but you're still top of the table. You're gonna get 20 titles. Like there's nothing to now. If you
here's
fuck it up from here, and if by some miracle squared, you guys don't win the title, then yeah, I will be talking shit. But right
here's
now,
the shit to be talking to Liverpool fans is that it seems that I mean losing to Newcastle, like who really gives a shit about that?
it's
I
it's the
mean
PSG game.
we're gonna talk about PSG in a second, and I do want to talk about that game. But like I think that the thing about Liverpool they can give a shit for is that well, two main things. One, all of our magical seasons we've underperformed so far. Like we've
Yeah,
had two like magic seasons in the past like 3 years, and both of them have come away. I mean, like winning a Premier League is not like
dude,
you know
that's
really
massive.
disappointing, but like if you look at like how great our team was in the first 3 months, if you were to tell us we'd walk away with just a Premier League, it would seem like a little bit of a disappointment. Do you know what I mean? Um, the second thing is that like I saw a meme about this. It was like some like Turkish like cab driver who looked like Mo Salah, but was like really fat, and the caption was like Mo Salah after January, and like the guy just literally you know um literally just like is not able to perform in the moments when we need him to perform. You know what I mean? Like a regular season game against Southampton, he'll score 5 goals. Easy. But like we need you to score against PSG, 0 goals in 2 games from like our star player. This is the reason why, and I mean I know I've been like kind of a yo-yo on Mo Salah, but like if we end the year with Mo Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold leaving, and again we're gonna talk about TAA, I'm not gonna be too upset because like um sorry I'm going a little bit on a rant here, but like
Yeah,
there's this controversy going on in F1 right now, and F1's kind of where my head's been at for the past week and a half, just like decompressing from the PSG loss. But like so Red Bull, we get this bad rap for just cutting drivers constantly. Like we're constantly getting rid of drivers, right? And people critique us for it. But the thing about Formula One is that like there are only 2 or 3 drivers on a grid that can win you a championship. And if you don't have one of those 2 or 3 drivers, you're not winning a championship. So like, yeah, is Pierre Gasly like a good driver? Sure. But is he gonna win a world drivers championship? No. So if you have a Pierre Gasly, every other team is happy with that. We are like, no, we're looking for a Max Verstappen. We're looking for a Kimi Antonelli, right? All that to say that like, you know, that's kind of my feeling about Mo Salah is that he's kind of he's keeping us in this like in the space of mediocrity where we're just good enough to not need to overhaul it, but not good enough to actually win. And again, like you look at all of our most critical games. And look, I give Mbappe, and I'm sorry again, I'm going on a rant, but I give Mbappe a lot of shit, and I think deservedly so. But like that France Argentina World Cup final, he scored 3 goals. You know what I mean? Like in all of these I mean not all of them, but in a lot of these critical junctures, he did score goals. Now, did he perform other plays on the pitch? Was he a good leader? No, but at least he put some balls in the net. Mo Salah doesn't do that. At every critical juncture when we need him, he does not show up.
there is always a drop off in January, and I always go back to that when we used to watch the Warriors in like 15, 16 in their heyday. Curry used to have an unbelievable regular season, and then postseason it would just be burnout. You would just be doing too much, and he wouldn't have the same impact. But that's where the rest of the team would then carry some of that slack. I find with Salah now, like obviously you got to cut him some slack. He's going up against, in my opinion, the best left back in the world. He's been a fucking athlete for years now. That Nuno Mendes has always been brilliant going forward. He's actually now being able to defend as well. He's a beast. I really wanted him at United under Amarim, even though he's worked with him at Sporting. He was the perfect left back. I'm sure Dorgu will come good. I'm quite happy with what I'm seeing so far. We're not the Man United of Ferguson's time where we can go and grab Nuno Mendes. He's always going to stay at PSG. We can't offer him the money in the Champions League football. But
If I could push back on that a little bit, because I am sympathetic to that argument to an extent, right? For example, when Man City won the Champions League, and you look at that game versus Real Madrid, and I know Kevin De Bruyne scored the goal. However, you see Rudiger at the end of that game, he is exhausted because he is
yeah,
man marking Erling Haaland the entire game. He's getting doubled and tripled. So like, yeah, Erling Haaland didn't score the goal, but he broke down that defense both physically and emotionally to the point where Kevin De Bruyne got an easy goal, right? And that's the same thing with Steph Curry. You're right, Steph Curry didn't show up, but you look at the games, he's triple, quadruple guarded. So yeah, Andre Iguodala is scoring 50 points, but the only reason why he's able to is because there are no defenders around him. That being said, like Mohamed Salah wasn't getting doubled and tripled really. And like
Mendes is handling.
I
Mendes is
know I
handling.
know Mendes is great, but like I don't care how good the left back is. No left back should be able to shut down
He's
a
an at
top.
no, he's a freak athlete. He wasn't even like shutting down, just like tackling. The physicality, the balls over the top that Salah would usually get on the end of, he would just outpace most left backs. Nuno
Yeah,
Mendes nipping at everything. That guy is end to end. I can't remember, it was Bayern last year, I think. I think it was Bayern Munich. They played a team last year where they kicked the shit out of Mendes for 90 minutes and he just kept running
but
up, getting his
here
shots.
here's where I say that's critique of Salah because like again like I haven't been very loud about these critiques with Salah because he has been so amazing. It's just really like when he I'll say some bad things here and there, but like usually I'll just like refrain because like why am I going to critique my own player who's doing a great job at least on
Yeah,
paper? But like the problem with Salah is that like you look at him and I mean we've talked about this before. This is a football wide phenomenon, but I think it's particularly bad with Salah. Where like he cannot beat a defender one on one. Most wingers nowadays can't, right? You don't really have the Neymar, right? Like Saint Maximum was weirdly my favorite one at this, right? But like most wingers cannot really beat people one on one. But Salah most definitely, like legitimately, I think that if I guarded Salah one on one, 60% of the time he's not getting through. Like
dude.
if we're doing a drill where he has to get through, if we do that drill 100 times, I think 60% of the time he's not getting through because
You
he
just get
literally
through
has
pace.
yeah, exactly, it's the same move. It's just go by with pace and
Yeah.
like it's if you're facing somebody like Nuno Mendes who's very fast also, what do you have? You know what I mean? Like say what you will about Neymar, and I've said a lot of negative things about Neymar, but he at least has tricks. He has
Yeah.
stuff that he could do. Like he can even Vinny has tricks. Mbappe has tricks. Mo Salah just doesn't.
Well,
So
there's
I know I've
Trent.
been just shitting on him, but like
Trent played both legs, didn't he? He got injured in the second leg, I'm assuming, at Anfield, right?
Brent Alexander Arnold in the first leg played not just the best defense of Trent Alexander Arnold's career, which is not a very
Brilliant.
high bar, but like he played
Brilliant.
some of the best fullback defense I've seen in my life. I think
He
he
did.
played an incredible game, like an
Yeah.
incredible one-on-one game. I forgot who.
Yeah, it was the
Oh yeah,
second leg. It was the second leg where he got hurt. But
yeah,
I think they stifled a lot of the in the first leg, he did a lot of the defending. In the second leg, the PSG boys did a lot of the defending where I think those balls, I think the big thing again, we'll hit the topic of Trent and Real Madrid. Everyone's talking about, attacking output, this and that. That connection, and you're talking about like they played together now for 8 years plus. That Salah Trent connection was unreal. Same way when that Gary Neville, David Beckham, or the David
yeah.
Beckham and Nistelrooy, when one of those goes, the other player doesn't tend to usually be the same. So even though everyone's talking about, oh, Trent's leaving, he'll be fine, this and that, as long as we keep Salah and Van Dijk, Salah might not have the same service, he might not get the same output without a
Can,
Trent there, I reckon. I
can I
think
just
it's a
say
big,
one last thing about Trent's defense is
yeah.
that he made Kvaratskhelia, who like in one of my group chats we call him Maradona, because he's not as good as Maradona obviously, but he is really good. He made him look pedestrian. He made him look like a normal. Made him look like Jack Grealish in 2022. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it
Like
takes sometimes it takes like a crazy challenge like that. Like I remember 2022 Champions League final, everyone was writing the obituary for Danny Carvajal coming up against
yeah,
Luis Diaz. People were laughing at him. All game he had him on lock. Sometimes it takes that threat of being embarrassed on the big stage for a player to just really step up and just do the basics
yeah.
of what he needs to do, even though he
But
doesn't want
but
to do it.
to your point, I completely agree. Like I am happy. So apparently Mohamed Salah wants to go to Barcelona. He's been
What?
reaching out to Barcelona. Yeah.
You're joking.
So again, I've been in F1 hole for the past week,
Yeah.
but that's the
Trent
last
news
report that
broke
I've
today.
seen.
I haven't really been paying too much attention to football news myself. The last like transfer news at least.
I mean,
Um,
we really shouldn't be telling our listeners this, but we
it's
should
just
at least
been a
one of us
crazy.
pretend to be
It's just been a
informed.
crazy. crazy
But
busy couple of weeks, month. That's why we haven't had the footy talk as well. But
yeah.
The Trent to Real Madrid news broke at like 10 a.m. I only picked it up at 2 p.m. Just
Can
because
I
I had
tell you something about that news? I thought it was just when it broke. I legitimately thought it was just another rumor because I
so cute, yeah.
thought because I thought it was just so done that the
Yeah.
idea of breaking the news just seems weird. You know what I
I
mean?
didn't
It's
believe
just
it.
like
I didn't believe it because Madrid have a lot of papers talking. For me, I can't fathom how a local lad would leave a club. It's not like your Steven Gerrards, your McManamans when Liverpool weren't winning jack shit. Like you have realistically 2 weeks ago, you were still on course to win 3 out of 4 fucking trophies. Like I get it's Real Madrid. I mean, I get it. I get the whole Spain thing. For me, the big thing goes back to an interview in October he did, where like they gave him 4 options. Captain Liverpool, win the World Cup with England, etc.
yeah.
He picked Ballon d'Or, and at the time, everyone kind of just like we didn't really take it seriously. But to his credit, I'll give him some credit. He really backs himself, and no fullback has ever won it. And this, I guess, is him just trying to do everything he can to make that a reality. So from that
Like,
angle, I respect it, but I think it's a huge fuck up on his part to leave Liverpool right now. He's only 26. He can go to Madrid when he's 29 and still do it. They're not
can,
going
can,
anywhere. But
can I tell you a heuristic that I use to judge how good a player is going to be? And it's fairly predictive. I think it's not 100% predictive. It's fairly predictive. When a
right.
player starts to wear flashy clothes, that's when the production starts to go down. And I've noticed a lot of really interesting outfits from Trent Alexander. That's one of the reasons why I've been bullish on Mbappe. A lot of very interesting outfits from Mbappe. A lot of very interesting
Yeah, the
outfits from
French,
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Mbappe, Pogba, these boys are flash cunts. We all knew that. But I haven't noticed Trent, actually. I didn't clock that from him, to be honest.
Here, there's one in particular. I'm going to see if I can see this, but
I love that. I love that we have a footy podcast and we're talking about Trent's sense of fashion. I love it. That's the times we've come to. This is brilliant. That flash cunt's wearing this, and this.
fashion.
A modern
So there are a
game.
couple on here, but here, yeah, no, I got it. Here you go. I'm going to share the screen.
Getting a lot more TV spots though. I saw him the other day. He's talking to the new Google Pixel phone. He's talking about how he'd be a knight on the chessboard like Sir Trent. I was like, oh, he's getting cocky. That's for sure. Look at that.
Well,
Look at
he's been like he's one of these like players who now invests in stuff. Like he invested in Alpine, the F1 team.
he
But
has, hasn't he? Yeah, he has, hasn't he?
this is the outfit that I saw where I was just like, okay, this guy's going to Real Madrid. This is an I'm going to Real Madrid outfit right here. You know what I mean? This is
At
a
Monaco, no less, as well.
yeah, it was
Flash.
at Monaco. It was during the Monaco Grand Prix. But yeah, no, I mean it's anyway,
It
I'm
just,
happy he's gone because like
but for free, dude, this is a 60, 70 million pound player. Easy. Easy.
would
26.
here's the thing, would Real Madrid have paid 60 million for him?
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah,
Would
they
Real
would.
Madrid get all of their players on freeze?
They're clever though. They're shrewd motherfuckers. But you know what? Trent's that guy because with him and Jude and just the way he plays the game, they haven't had a crosser of the ball since David Beckham. Just
I
Trent's gonna
I
change
think
differently, and they would have paid top dollar for especially now that he's being a flash cunt and he's got these marketing deals because they'll get a chunk of his image rights. That's what Real Madrid do. They take Ronaldo's the only player in the history of Madrid to ever own his image rights, and that's after 2 contract renegotiations. No one owns them.
I'm a big believer in mentalities of teams. I think mentality is a lot more important than like the actual skill a lot of time. And like having Jude Bellingham, Vinny, Mbappe, and Trent
Valverde,
Alexander-Arnold on a
fucking
team.
Valverde.
No, Valverde has a great mentality, in my
Oh, you're saying
opinion.
these players don't? I thought you were saying all these players do.
No, I'm saying all these players have a terrible mentality.
No,
Jude
Bellingham's on
Bellingham,
point. Bellingham's on point. I
he
love it.
might he might he might have been, not anymore. I mean, he's dating a girl with like 80 bodies.
I knew you were gonna say this. I was waiting for this nonsense. There's no way it's true. He's not wifed up some fucking thought. There's no way. Come on, Jude's mom wouldn't let him do that.
Hey, have you seen that picture of Jude's
I
mom
have,
staring
I
at her?
have, I have, I
Yeah.
have. Mama
Also,
Bellingham ain't gonna let it happen. No,
also,
he's
did
just
you see Michael B. Jordan called about?
I did not see that. No.
So she is Michael B. Jordan's ex-girlfriend.
Who isn't these days? That motherfucker's been slaying.
And he posted a picture of him and her when they were still dating on his story and tagged Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, but that's just petty to me. That seems like
Do you know
Michael
who's
B.
another
Jordan.
one of her
Michael B. Jordan's
ex-boyfriends?
that's a salty look. Like, bro, you had your turn. Why are you getting upset if Jude's running his turn? I don't get that.
Do you know who's another one of her ex-boyfriends?
Go on, shoot.
So there's a whole list. I'll pull it up in a second. But do you know who's the most notorious one that you should be nervous about?
Ooh, I'm not even nervous. I'm just more like I don't.
Diddy's son.
No,
Yeah,
no, oh, don't
yeah.
say that. No, Jude, no. God, he's got a freak off chick. Oh, he's just having
He's
fun.
got a freak off chick.
Hey,
Here,
look,
let's see this.
they won't be together long. He's too smart. You don't move to Real Madrid at that age and fucking. Oh my God, your search history is mad.
Fans have been like clowning on him.
Because they ain't got nothing else. He's been killing the game. Oh, she's Dutch. No, wait, hold on.
Terrence Mann, Lamelo Ball, Michael B. Jordan. She dated a bunch. She dated Neymar. She dated a bunch of like NFL players.
She must be
There
older
are
than him.
10 A-listers who've shared her bed. She has a
Suppose
top 10
allegedly,
ex-boyfriends list.
allegedly. Jude, just have your fun, bro. He knows what he's doing.
Lewis Hamilton as well.
Oh, bro. Ugh. I hate
He's
that
literally at the bottom of the pile.
guy. He's just having fun. You know? Look,
At least get a fresh thought. At least get her on her first body.
I get that. That is crazy. That is a bit. Man, look, no one's perfect, in it. No one's perfect. This is his flaw, I guess. Whatever. Power to him. Whatever. Like he'll get over.
By the way, Andrew Schultz. I don't know if are you a fan of Andrew Schultz?
I I still am. I was a bigger fan before, but for me, his behavior towards Shane Gillis the last couple of years has been a bit strange. I'm a huge Shane Gillis is the like number one. He's top dog, man.
We'll talk about it on Hater Rate tomorrow because I don't even know what that story is. But Andrew Schultz had this point. I forgot what he was talking about specifically, but he was just like, people think that these movie stars and these athletes fuck thousands of women.
It's the same group
But
that gets shit around. It's the same couple.
he said they really fuck thousands of women. It is
Yeah.
the same like 1,000 girls that they're all sharing. And first of all, that's terrible if you think about it. Like, I'd much rather the more and more the older that I get, the happier I am that I've never become like a movie star or something. Like, because their life honestly seems fucking terrible. Like, it really seems god awful. Like I watched this documentary. Have you ever seen the Neymar documentary on Netflix?
No, I don't care for him.
There is a 5-part documentary on Netflix about Neymar. It's actually a really good documentary. I highly recommend it. But like after watching that, I'm like, man, I'm not saying this ironically. I would literally choose my life over Neymar's any day of the week. The guy seems miserable. He seems like a miserable person.
He's never really fulfilled his talent either, his potential. He went to Paris at a stupid time, did jack shit there. They
Do
just
you know what Neymar does in his free time? He literally sits and plays Fortnite. This guy literally plays Fortnite like 6-7 hours a day.
He threw some killer parties when he was in Paris. I'll give him that. Other than that, he ain't really done much else.
But here's the thing about those parties is that those parties are like work parties for these people. Those parties are like work events. They're like branding events. Do you know what I mean? And everybody that they know, everyone that they meet, like you look at his relationship with his father, it is fucking terrible. I don't mean terrible as in they fight. I mean it's like literally every person around him is only there to make money off of him.
Yeah. You become it's terrible. It must be a terrible sensation to be the cash cow like that.
But do you wanna go into our picks and then we'll talk about the rest of the stories. So I feel like we should start with the Champions League because I think this is the most fun. So Bayern tie Inter.
See, the last time they met, if I'm not mistaken, Inter beat them in the 2010 final. Very different teams from then, but this Inter team's interesting to me, man. Every time you think, oh no, they just might perk up and do something. This is the first leg, right?
Yeah, and so it's gonna be 1,000 total.
Yep.
So it's 250 per game.
Yep. Oh, you can vary it, right? I can mix and match it because
Yeah.
Bayern Inter. Fuck. I don't know why. Normally I'd pick Bayern every day of the week, but I just can't shake this feeling that Inter are going to do something. I'm gonna stick 200 on Inter to do some damage. I don't know why. I just get this funny feeling. Inter. Watch Bayern win 4-0 now, but
I'm gonna
oh,
do
confidence either in Bayern. Okay.
I feel like so here's the problem with football betting, right? Is that you can go into a game and like your general direction is like, I feel like something weird's gonna happen. So I can put money on Inter. But a lot of time that weird thing is just a tie. You know what I mean? And I think this is gonna be like a 1-1 type game. That
Nah,
that's what I'm
I'm
seeing.
sick of picking ties, man. Fuck it, I'm going for Inter. Oh,
Arsenal tie Real Madrid.
oh, dude, I'm gonna stick 250 on Real, man. That's not even close. Actually, no, give me 200 on Real. Give me 200 on Real.
Remember, you have 1,000 to bet, so
Yeah,
if you're feeling
I'm
confident
putting
about
some.
this,
I'm gonna put something stupid on in a minute. You're gonna see what I'm about to do.
I'm gonna put 150 on Arsenal. I do I think Arsenal are gonna win? Not necessarily, but let's do this. Barca, Dortmund.
Give me 500 on Dortmund.
Really?
Yep, told you I was about to do something stupid.
Yeah, I mean, look, I see your way of thinking about this, but I just think it's wrong. I think Barca are for real this year. They look like they're just a fucking scoring machine. They look like they're just a
I
fucking,
think Dortmund will punish him on the counter attack. I think there's holes in Barcelona's midfield. They can be counter pressed massively, and I think if Dortmund just get your Adiemis, get your Kittens on the ball and run at the Barca players, I think Barcelona are going to get found out a little bit here. If I'm being
So
honest.
I completely agree with that. What I my counter to that is that it's kind of like the Pep Guardiola counter, which is obviously like makes sense because it's Barcelona, but it's kind of like, okay, you can beat us on the counter. You can score 3 goals on the counter. We're gonna score 5 goals. So like, what does that really do for you? You know what I mean? So like they
Also, there's
current
no games. Sorry, just quick note. There's no games this weekend for Premier League, so I was thinking if we just do the Monday pod. We can just do the picks for Premier League on Monday. That'll be the first. The games are on
I
Tuesday.
thought,
There's no games this weekend. I don't know why.
oh yeah, because
It's
it's free
international
weekend.
break,
Okay,
but
yeah, that makes sense.
England have played both their games.
Yeah.
So this weekend's a free hit for us, so we can just focus on the picks here and then the other topics because we can do.
So
I'll do.
Are averaging Barca are averaging 3 goals a game
I mean, it's one
in
or
La
either.
Liga. That's a lot.
Either Barcelona smoke them or Dortmund Nick Dortmund get them. I don't think it's gonna be one of those 2-1 games. I think either side is gonna either Barca smoke them 3-0 and just dominate possession and take the piss, or Dortmund just keep countering them and keep popping these goals away. And the more it happens,
Yeah.
Barcelona. I think it's gonna be one way or the other. I don't think it's gonna be a tight game or close or a tie. I think one.
I'm gonna adjust a little bit of this if that's okay. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
250 just because I'm looking. I'm like I've I
you
have
have a lot.
500 to
Yeah.
playlist, so I'm not gonna put that much money on my next bet. So um actually I'm gonna put, yeah, no, that makes sense. PSG tie Villa. Who are you
Give me
putting money
50
on?
on that, and then put another 50 on Real Madrid, and that's my 1,000 gone.
50 on PSG.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm
that's it.
putting 350 on PSG. I think that, like, I think what happens a lot of the years is you kind of have an anointed team. Obviously, the
Yeah.
best example of this is Real Madrid, when they beat us in the finals. I think PSG they're looking to me like an anointed team.
They need to
And
drug test those players. They do not stop fucking running. I've never seen a team press for 90 minutes before. I've never seen that.
do you know what I think it is actually? So one thing that like really makes me down on Kylian Mbappe is that this story came out, I think it was in 2022, where basically it was about like the internal turmoils at PSG. And there's this one story where like an assistant coach went up to an offensive player, and even if it wasn't Mbappe, like the fact that Mbappe is the leader and like this happened, his indictment of him, where like he said, "Hey, I need you to press more," and the offensive player just laughed at him, right?
That's crazy.
And I think that what happened was Luis Enrique came into PSG and told the management, like, look, I am running this show. This is gonna be like a Mourinho. This is gonna be like a Sir Alex Ferguson type thing where I get, the keys to the car and they
Yeah.
said yes. And now he's like, no, you guys are pressing all the time. And I think there were a lot of players on PSG who were pissed about the way that the show was run before, and they're now very happy about the fact that it is like an aggressive, you know, type of team.
I mean,
Uh,
fair play. It's working. They look. I've never rated Enrique that highly. I thought he was a good coach, but you inherit a very good Barcelona team. You kind of make what you can of it. But I mean, credit to him. Like he's done a great job.
this team is legitimately like just scraps being put together and really good scraps. I mean, obviously they got Faradana, but Dembele has been in like 100 different teams, you know. But the fact that they put this together and they're able to click to the way that they are is just incredible in my opinion. So yeah, no, I have that full confidence in PSG. But yeah, let's do the other picks next week. So let's go through the stories that you wanted to go down.
All right.
Um,
So Brazil, Argentina tonight or tomorrow night. I
what are
haven't
your
kept too
thoughts?
much with it. A lot of people seem to be leaning towards. So I can't remember exactly what, but I believe Brazil are playing in Argentina and they haven't won for close to a decade. Maybe I'd have to check the stats on that.
Yeah.
And they were Sky Sports News were interviewing, or Slow Sports News, I should say, were interviewing a Brazilian guy that wrote a book. He's the one through whom I found out that Argentina League has those three derbies over a course of one weekend, which I'm gonna definitely do um this coming year.
Yeah.
And
Are you? I think those derbies already happened.
they've happened this year, as in like for the
Yeah.
coming year. I'd have to figure
Oh,
out
okay. Yeah.
26. But that's super cool. That would be once in a lifetime for me to just like go there and obviously do other things, but like spend a weekend just driving around to different states. He said he did three derbies in on one Saturday. He covered 50 miles. He just hired a taxi for the day. Like that's fucking dope. One game
Oh,
at 4, one game at 8. The other one was at midday. What a great way to
so
play.
so Argentina. I mean, it's kind of difficult to explain it. Like it is like if you think about like England and London, it's like that but on steroids. Where like it's literally I think like 80% of the teams are in Buenos Aires.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so you're able to do it. But yeah, I mean Brazil versus Argentina and Argentina. I mean, I can tell you as somebody who's in Brazil right now, like the two countries hate each other
Oh
because
yeah.
it's kind of like a fighting for supremacy of South America. Those are like the two big South American countries, and Argentina is kind of like a captain of the Spanish side, and Brazil really is like five different countries, but they just
Hmm.
happen to stay together. And yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game. Who do you think is gonna win?
I'm gonna go with Argentina. I'm gonna go with Leach's team, even though he's out injured. Martinez and them boys. I'm obviously a massive fan of Uruguay because I love Manuel Ugarte. Um, but I think smart money would be on Argentina, especially because the track record. I don't know if this Brazil team's decent. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if Alisson has recovered from the knock or if he's back at Liverpool with that concussion. So Edison's in goal. That knocks my
Yeah.
confidence down, which is crazy because Edison's still dope, but he's not Alisson. So I think Argentina will nick it. Um, Other than that, I mean, England's played its two internationals. Tuchel's England. It's not a bad start. There's a lot of problems we still need to fix, but I like because he's very meticulous. Every small detail, even if things go well. We won 3-0 against Latvia. Didn't play super great, especially in the first half. And he's nitpicking at each thing. He's a perfectionist. I think we finally, even though everyone said it when Capello was there, including me, I think we truly finally have a world class manager to manage this world class team. And we should be one of the top favorites for the World Cup. Not on merit, not on just reputation, on actual merit. So the first two games, he's won his first two World Cup qualifiers, 5 goals, none conceded. Now let's kick on and start really working on performance and really dominating the game, dominating the ball over 90 minutes.
Do you guys think you're the favorites going to the World Cup?
At the moment, yeah. I mean, Spain have to be up there as well. They're the European champions. Germany are Germany. Yeah, the usual suspects will be there, but I think he's got what, let's say, just shy of a year, just more than a year. A year, let's call it 15 months. He's got 15 months to whip this already world-class packed team into a team that can dish out performances consistently. I
Do
think
you
that's
think
enough time.
do you think winning the World Cup in your former colony would be like the best thing that's happened to England since the
With a
fall of the
German
Empire?
manager. With a German manager, no less.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't really think you can knock that. I mean, the king's German. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I love it. No, that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
I love it. To win it in a former colony with a German manager, I would love it. It would just be the most England thing to happen, right? Like, can't everyone's been crying, oh, there's no Sky Sports, all these wankers, oh, the decline of the English manager. How can you say that when the likes of Rob Edwards, Russell Martin don't get any top job offers? Eddie Howe, now after winning the Carling Cup with Newcastle last week, is finally being given some flowers, including from me. I didn't think Eddie Howe had it in him to win a trophy, but power to him. But the likes of Russell Martin at Southampton when he was sacked, Rob Edwards sacked at Luton for playing expansive football in the Premier League with a promoted side. Meanwhile, Vincent Company does it with Burnley, gets relegated and gets the Bayern Munich job. Make it make sense. Don't
do you
cry. English managers are a dying breed when they're there. They're there. They're doing the same thing these other cunts are, but because they're not Premier League winners under Pep Guardiola for an Arab state club, they're not getting anything after that. Oh, we want to see attractive football. Well, he's playing it. They're getting relegated. Okay, then what? Will you fire him? Why did Company didn't get fired from Burnley? The fucker got a promotion to Bayern Munich. How's that
if
work?
if if let's say you don't win in 2026, what happens sooner? England wins a major tournament or Sharia law gets implemented in England? Which
Oh,
one?
definitely,
Which one?
definitely Sharia law. Definitely. I mean, we're almost there now anyway. Like with the way things are going, this government, like it's where everyone's leaving the UK. People are leaving in droves.
I've seen that, yeah.
In the millionaires, the billionaires are all leaving. Anyone that wants to make any money is leaving because they are just gonna. I'm not saying don't tax the rich, but they're taxing the middle class. They're not even taxing the super rich. So it's ridiculous.
I mean, you're gonna leave and move to South America with us, right?
There you go. Yeah, the Exodus. Everyone does. Everyone wants to do what I do, innit? Just follows what I want to do. So I think
And
it's a big problem. I don't think it's going to be helped. Obviously, depending on there's just a lot of things going on at the moment. Football is a big thing. Respite. I mean, look at that. Trent's leaving. Players are leaving. Like it's crazy. Like it just doesn't seem to be the place to be right now. If I'm being honest.
it's sad to see. I mean, I think you guys can win it. I mean, the problem is like Spain is just such a well-oiled machine right now, and like
The only thing is, and this is gonna sound stupid because unlike Man City, they're not a one-man team, I guess. But you're missing the likes of a Rodri who's missed a whole year of football. How's he gonna come back next year? They've got
that's true.
Zubimendi, they've got players for days. They
Should
mold this type of players. They've got four in each position that can do the gig. But your Danny Carvajal at right back, he's been out with a big injury. Some of their key boys have been like out this year for long periods of time.
do you
So
feel like Rodri should get another Ballon d'Or this year? Like should he get a Ballon d'Or just for like the proof of like how poorly Man City? Oh wait, that was amazing timing. Literally, the second after everyone gets pissed off that he wins the Ballon d'Or, he tears his ACL
dude,
and Man City
you want to talk
implode.
about timing? So he won the Ballon d'Or. The following 4 or 5 days later, he complained about the amount of games players are playing, and 2 days later, he gets hurt. Two
Yeah,
days later, he bitched about it on Thursday, and on Sunday, he got hurt. It's insane.
and especially a defensive mid because those guys work hard.
It was just the way he landed. I think it was I think it was the Arsenal game actually where they drew 2-2. I think that's
Well,
when he.
but that's the thing, right? Like it's the way you land, but it's usually the way you land if you're overworked. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like if he takes
and
a
the guy
three
on
month
top of you can help as
vacation
well.
and then
Yeah.
he lands that way, he's fine. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, your body's been through. No, they're definitely overworked. There's a lot more games. I mean, looking at this Champions League format, I was thinking about literally a day ago. I was going to bring it up with you. I was like, fuck the Nations League, fuck these international things. Over the course of 4 years, everyone in Europe should play each other once. England should play all the teams once over 4 years, and then just get like an accumulation of points, and that's your ranking for European qualifiers or for like because the World Cup qualifiers they break it down to regions. So South America has its own qualifying, Europe's got its own qualifying, etc. Asia has its own qualifying, and then the top few dogs out of each of those qualifying groups then meets at the World Cup. Now, instead of having stupid friendlies or Nations League, just have them play everyone over the course of those 4 years. And at the end, whoever the top four that have those accumulated points goes to the World Cup.
Can I tell you
And
something? I hate the World Cup qualification process.
that way, the same way that we love, and it should be a one-off game, not a home and away game. The same way in the Champions League, you get 8 games, you play 8 different people, 4 at home, 4 away. You played Real Madrid at home, you didn't have to play them away, and that just creates the excitement. We played Latvia for the first time. There's 100,000 Latvian people living in the UK. Wembley was packed. It was great for them to get that experience. I think it would be great if England played every European team once over that 4 year qualifying period. You could have Germany away, then you play France at home. You get Spain away, you play Portugal at home. But then those lesser teams get to get that exposure. The fans get a day out. Everyone plays everyone. It's brilliant.
I also think that what they should do, this is something that I'm a big proponent of, is they should increase the amount of teams that get in from UEFA. Because these games should not actually be that important. Because like one factor is the games being played, and the other factor is like how much you try in the games. And the fact that they're trying to put more meaningful games on the schedule, in my opinion, is the problem. Like, okay, Asia can play in the World Cup. You get one team, maybe two. Or maybe we do a Champions League style where UEFA and South America, let's say the 32 teams, they get 20 of the teams. You get, two
That's what
teams
happens
from.
now. No, that's what happens now. So
Is it only 20?
Europe get a larger proportion than most other places.
Oh, no, I know that. I'm just saying it's not a large enough proportion. The
I don't
fact
know.
that Italy
I think
wasn't in the World Cup is kind of ridiculous.
I'm actually very happy with how Asia's getting on in World Cups. Japan have been a fantastic watch. South Korea went to the fucking semis, I think, in 2002. Like, I love seeing Japan have just been killing it, man, in the rugby and in football. It's just the most Japanese thing to do. Fuck it, we've adopted this new thing, but give us a couple years, we're just gonna be the best at it, like fucking
I
whiskey.
love Japan.
Japan is just I've never been, but that culture of just being the best, there's no one better at doing it. They're brilliant. They just whatever they pick up, they within a couple years they just fucking dominate, and I'm
Do,
excited.
do you want to come to Japan with me and Wendy? Just eat sushi with
Uh,
us?
I would, but just with the way things are going here at the moment, I'm so strapped. Honestly, like, I haven't been able to do nothing for the whole month, and there's only going
Oh,
to
I
be.
mean, we're not gonna be in Japan until like September, so it's gonna be a while. But
Oh
because
shit!
we're,
Okay.
we're we're going to Albania,
Yeah, yeah.
I might be moving to Albania.
You were saying
I'm really talking myself into Albania. Here's my thought process. I know we're not talking about football anymore, so if you need to go at any point, let me know. But like my thought process with Albania is this. And do you mind if I pull up a map? Just because
go
like
for it. Oh,
I was
shit, yeah.
explaining this to Wendy and she didn't really understand it until like I actually pulled up a map and showed it to her. Like my computer is super slow. I've never been a believer of the conspiracy theory that Apple purposely makes his products by the upgrade.
Sorry, you
But
broke
three
up there.
years
What was
old
that?
and is shitting the bed.
You're
I've
breaking
never.
up.
It's funny because it's literally making. Give me a second.
No worries. I
Can
Apple
you hear me
definitely
now?
do. It's the iOS updates as well. They break their own shit, so you buy more. 100%. Yo, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I'm not gonna share the map. I'm just gonna talk. But like, so so yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Can you hear
go for
me?
it. Shoot, yeah. Yep.
Okay. So there's Albania here, there's Greece here, there's Montenegro over here, and there's Italy over here, right? So Albania is surrounded by three of the most gorgeous countries on planet Earth. Three pretty expensive areas as well. The south of Italy, Greece, Montenegro. But
Yeah.
Albania is fucking cheap as all hell. Like Albania, like I was looking at like an Airbnb, and an Airbnb, it's a two-bedroom apartment overlooking the ocean in like their beach town is like 450 a month. And like so for me, I'm like the nature doesn't change in this area. It's the same beautiful coastline.
Oh,
It just
yeah, yeah.
happens to be in a former communist dictatorship that's now poor. So it's literally basically just like Greece, but like on a budget. And I'm like, why not do that? So we're gonna check it out, but I might be moving to Albania.
Damn, why not? I'll definitely come check you guys out if you're out there.
That that's my Albania rant. All right. Do we have any other football stuff?
Uh, Trent to Madrid. So you're happy with that? We've done picks. I had a few, just two more things. 1 second.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Oh yeah, actually, this one you'll like. Actually, this one you'll really like. So apparently, even though you have Poch, the
Oh
US
yeah.
national team is struggling to get crowds interested. People are saying the tickets are too much. They're not even worth it in terms of the talent level. Why is America not adopting football right now? What is going on? They can't fill out the stadiums at the moment. You guys are hosting this shit in a year. What's going on? Is this the calm before the storm, or should we be concerned?
Oh, you should definitely be concerned. Um,
Poch not being able to implement his style. The players aren't too sure if we're pressing high or we're playing fluid football. What's going on?
so I mean, they're two separate concerns, right? There's, but here's the map that I wanted to share. Um, so Montenegro right over here, Croatia. People
Ah,
like
okay.
Croatia is actually a little bit expensive.
I was in Montenegro
Croatia like
literally
split.
like just under
You
a
were,
year ago.
yeah.
It was decent. I loved it. Budva's great. I want to go to Serbia. I'm desperate to
Um,
go.
you have Bari over here. Bari is a beautiful place. You have
Dude,
Greece. You have
North
Corfu. People love Corfu.
Albania. You got
What?
Greece right there. North Macedonia is right there. Like this whole little Eastern Bloc, I'm a big fan of. I would love to go check it out.
And this is expensive. This is really expensive. This is
Mm.
kind of getting expensive. This is really expensive. This is dirt cheap. So for me, I'm just like that just makes
No brainer.
I made a joke in our group chat that I can't repeat here, but this isn't
Yeah.
haterade. But
Should hopefully be
um
next
yeah,
day or so.
so I mean like in terms of like the US men's national team, I guess we could shit on me a little bit today. Is
Yeah, your big predictions. I mean, when you got
um
Poch, there was some big bold predictions for 2026.
yeah, I mean, so I think in terms of the fans are going to show up. You have to remember about the United States is that like we like the United States is literally just like a different world from the rest of the world. Like we really just have our own separate culture, and we are completely fine with you guys doing whatever you want to do, and we don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we have American football, we have basketball, we have baseball, we have our own things that we're doing. We have Fahrenheit, you guys use Celsius. And like the American attitude is just like fuck you guys are foreigners. Because you have to remember, like America is really the size and population of Europe, right? So like it is basically its own continent, and that's kind of how we see ourselves. So I think Americans just don't care about these friendlies. So we're not gonna show up to these games. I mean, we'll show up once it's qualifying. We'll definitely show up once it's actually like the World Cup. But like for now, we got other things top of mind. In terms of like the players themselves, um, there's obviously some concern. Like we brought in Poch, and like the team is not performing. But I really do
Yeah,
think that they just kind of need some time in the system. They need some time like molding together. And I
right.
think that, once the World Cup comes along, I think that we're gonna be pretty good. Plus we've always lost like wonky games. Like I think one of the games we lost was to Panama. Like we've lost to Panama
Yeah,
so many
yeah,
times.
some strange ones. Yeah, that's what got everyone sort of freaking out a little. And they were like, "Oh," I was like, "I think they'll be fine." I think Poch just needs a bit of time. International managers don't get anywhere near the time. And him and Tuchel, these are club managers. The fact that they're in international football is kind of crazy to me.
Well, like we also in qualifying for the 2022 World Cup, we lost to Panama as well, and it was actually like that was actually like an important game, and we lost to Panama. So like we do drop these games all the time, and if it's not an important game, we're not showing up. That's just how Americans are. So am I kind of worried? Maybe a little bit, but like not seriously. We're obviously gonna win the World Cup. There's no question about it. You know. Let's move on. What do you think? Did you see the game?
I didn't see the game. This was just I can't remember who I was listening to. Someone was just having a rant on one of our not Sky Sports News, some other channel. They're like, "Oh, Americans are struggling to fill the stadiums. Poch's things aren't really picking up," and it was just funny. I was like, "Oh, okay, let's see what Paul has to say about this."
One of the problems with our team is that our team has too many mercenaries on it. We have too many people who aren't actually Americans, and like it's okay to have one or
Trump will
two
sort
of
that.
those.
Trump will sort that out. Don't worry, Trump.
um, but like for example, like we had like Serginho Dest.
Oh yeah, the Dutch
He's
kid.
not
Yeah,
American in any way, shape, or form. But like
yeah.
we have the French guy. Like he's not American. Like we have a lot of people on our team that are literally there just because they can't really get. Fuck yes. Oh yes. I'm gonna break this story in a second, but um,
Trent Stain.
no. I would be upset if Trent was staying, but um,
Crazy. So many people are upset. Sorry. Yeah, I'll let you. Um,
anyway, yeah. So I think we have too many mercenaries. The good news is that Liam Lawson is out of the seat.
oh
Um,
shit! They kicked him out already. Well, he's doing horribly. To be fair.
yeah, it's the
Bad.
shortest stint in Red Bull
Yeah,
history.
but he's bad though. I don't know Jack shit about F1, but when I saw how bad he was doing, like he was like 18th from the beginning. I was like, yo, he's fucking up because the constructors obviously takes two of them in it. I was like, yo, he's fucking up everything.
Yeah. So do you mind if we end this with a little bit of Formula One?
Yeah, I'm not, dude. I don't give a shit. Like, yeah,
So yeah, I mean, so my conspiracy theory, and I've said this before, I think that if somebody is obsessive enough about our podcast, they can like find me saying this. But like my theory with Liam Lawson was always like they had Yuki Tsunoda and they knew what Yuki Tsunoda was. And
yeah.
they had this other guy, Liam Lawson. And the question was who replaces Perez? And I think they decided to go with Lawson because they were like, he could be way better than Yuki or he could be way worse. And if he's way better, then we ride with Lawson. And if he's worse than Yuki, then we can just replace him with Yuki, and we know what we got,
It's
right?
some hedging their bets. Yeah, it makes sense. Make getting bullshit.
And Lawson turned out to be way worse. But by the way, I'm gonna so people who are watching this, I made an F1 TikTok account. I actually have been getting a lot of views on this. I've been getting at least one video to 1,000 views a day, which I'm very proud of. But I've been ragging on him. So once it's official, I'm gonna post a thing like saying I feel bad because you're never happy when someone loses their job, right?
Mm,
Like
that's fair.
but yeah, he just did not deserve that seat at all. He's been 20th place both
What's the next
times.
race? Is it Japan?
Japan, yeah, which is Yuki's
So
home race, which
Yuki,
is I
yeah.
think is why.
So do you think did they know because they can be diabolical cornering these cunts? They're thinking, all right, if he is as bad as we think he is, put him in for now, and then we can give Yuki a fucking mad intro at Japan 2 races
I
in.
I actually don't think they thought that because like going into the season, I thought they were going to replace Liam, but I thought, and this is in our chat, I thought it was going to be in Saudi Arabia because if you look at the schedule, that's what makes the most sense in terms of like the breaks and stuff. I don't think anybody thought it would be this quickly. Part of it is literally just like there's so much fan support for Yuki getting that seat, and two, Liam was so
Bad,
bad. He
bad.
was just bad. Like he so there are six rookies on the grid, which I think is hurting Liam a little bit because usually people are like, oh, he's a rookie, but like he has
Others are showing up.
five
Yeah,
other people to compare him to, and he's literally underqualifying all of them. To to give an analogy on this, because like it literally like your car does matter almost as much as like your football club does for like an individual players awards, right? Like imagine if like you know you had two stars, right? Like Holland and Mbappe, right? And like someone was like, and imagine if Holland was like on Southampton, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
like so someone's like, Mbappe hasn't won his league yet, and you're like, well, but Holland has. You know what I mean? It would be that type of thing. If Holland won his league with Southampton, it's like you can't really like say that for Mbappe if he's on Real Madrid. Obviously, I should have set this analogy up a lot better, but like you
I
know what
get
I'm
it.
saying, right? Like Liam Lawson is in the same car that Max Verstappen won the World Drivers' Championship last year, and he is getting in 20th. And
The
by the
cars are the
way,
same. The cars are the same for both.
yeah, it's the same car, yeah.
So it just comes down to driver skill then, use of the
Comes
car.
down to, well. So this is I'm gonna make the defense of Liam Lawson right now, which is, and by the way, I'm gonna make the defense. I'm gonna tell you why it's stupid. But the defense of Liam Lawson is this: is that most teams have like there's one driver's preferences and another driver's preferences, right? And most teams create a car that's like a mix between the both. Red Bull do not do that. Red Bull have created Max Verstappen's ideal car. And Max Verstappen's ideal car is incredibly difficult to drive, but if you can drive it, you get that
You
extra
win. Right.
0.1 seconds, right? But it is very difficult to drive. That's the argument that people are making in defense of Liam Lawson. But the counter argument to that is you're an F1 driver making millions of dollars a year.
Figure
If
it
you
out.
cannot drive that car,
You
you are
don't.
not you don't
Yeah.
deserve this seat. What's the and what's hurt Liam Lawson even more is that Yuki Tsunoda. So
He's
Yuki
doing right.
Tsunoda on paper has not had a great first two races, but if you actually watch the races, he has done a great job. So in China, uh basically what happened is his team fucked him. He would have ended up, so Max Verstappen was in fifth place, Yuki Tsunoda was in sixth place. And basically his team, so just gives it back. So like in Formula One, there's like a one stop race and a two stop race, right? Like, do you take one pit stop or two pit stops, right?
Right.
And everyone thought that China was going to be a two stop race. So what Racing Bulls
Yeah.
did was they took their
So,
second stop early to undercut everybody else. But what ended up happening is that within those 3 laps, everyone else realized there's no reason to take a second pit stop. So he ended up like losing 25 seconds for nothing. But had he not done that, had he followed the same strategy as everyone else, he would have ended up in fifth place, and Max Verstappen ended up in fourth place. So it's like,
Lewis Hamilton got disqualified. Love it. Well, actually, both Ferrari boys got disqualified. Funnily enough.
yeah. But that actually saved Lewis Hamilton because his race was terrible. Charles Leclerc's race was a little bit better, but um, yeah. I mean, Ferrari are just shitting in the bed right now. McLaren are doing very well. Um, they're gonna be our big battle this year. Kimi Antonelli is the truth.
There we
Like
go, Kimmy. I knew
really,
it.
Kimi Antonelli has more points than Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, I think combined. And he's raced 2 races in Formula One. Like it's actually insanity how good Kimi Antonelli is already. I think he's going to be at least a 3-time world champion. If Mercedes offered us Kimi Antonelli for Max Verstappen right now, I would take it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean
Max is your boy.
Max looks a little bit. So you're in a problem, Max, right now. He looks a little bit dejected. He looks a little bit like he
Only the
doesn't
second.
give a shit. He looks a little bit like he's just pissed off at the car. And that's another reason why I'm very happy that Yuki Tsunoda joined the team. Because with Liam Lawson coming in 20th, Max Verstappen can go to his team and say, look, I came in fourth because the car sucks. But if Yuki Tsunoda is coming in fifth with the car, his team comes back at him and is just like, well, you're Max Verstappen. That's Yuki Tsunoda. Do so it's gonna be a crazy year. Are you're not watching China, you're not watching Japan, obviously, but hopefully you're gonna watch like Saudi Arabia when it comes up, right?
At a reasonable time, I'll watch it, no problem. But yeah, I'm not committed yet to the point where I'll stay up at 3, 4 a.m. Like I'll do it for the UFC cards. Luckily this week's UFC card was London, so it was at a decent time. And the American guy won. I was rooting for the Philly guy because I'm not really a Leon Edwards fan. So even though he's English, I rooted for the American and he done it. He fucking destroyed the guy in 4 rounds. So
Nice.
yeah, it was bad.
I need to get into UFC. I'm actually gonna miss
We'll
Japan.
start adding sports to different sports to this slowly. So obviously football was the main one. We've got F1 into it now. And MMA will be brilliant. I'm not an expert by any means, don't get me wrong, but there's so much to digest there. And obviously Irish Paul being our friend, we have a
Do,
vested interest.
do you know what we need to do? So what I've been doing with this channel, like you saw, I got 11,000 views in the past like week. I've literally been recording TikToks, and my TikTok is just F1. So I like literally not put any politics, not put any soccer, because the way the TikTok algorithm works is it literally just tries to find who your audience is. So you want to make your audience as specialized as possible. But I've been taking my TikToks and just putting them on YouTube as shorts. So this is usually stuff that we talk about after the show, but I'm just gonna keep the recording running.
I need
Like
to use that for the shop actually because we've got TikToks that we're making for the store. I'm gonna put them on YouTube as shorts. Then that's a nice idea. I'm just gonna do that.
whenever you have a small rant, just record yourself on your phone, 45 seconds, send it to me. I'll upload it as a short.
Yeah, I could do that. That's actually easier for me to do. I could literally just. I've got some. I do at least 50 rants a day to
Yeah,
myself. Easy, just record that. This board.
that's literally
I
what
had
my
one on.
TikTok.
I had one on Schulze's flagrant show for the Akash Singh guy. I'm sick of that guy claiming Singh when he's not really a Sikh. You can't claim that unless you're baptized or you're born a Sikh. So which he's
Is he
neither.
not a Sikh?
He's not a Sikh, bro. So for him to
Is
say
he Hindu?
he's Hindu, but that's fine. There's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with it. You can't be taking that Singh name unless you've been baptized or you're born a Sikh. Like that. That's not how that works. So
Oh, is Singh like a Sikh name?
yeah,
I
yeah.
I, I don't know. I don't know
Singh,
this.
if
So
you have Singh in your, it's basically a common middle name for blokes, for guys. Any guy that has Singh in his name is a Sikh guy. Now he's either
yeah,
been born as a Sikh or he's been baptized. That's the only way you get it. You can't.
is that his legal last name?
I don't know what he's done. I don't. He just goes by Akash Singh, and it's a small thing, but it just annoys him. Like if you can fake something like that, then you're just bandwagoning. For me,
Yeah,
it's just weird. So I had a little rant about that, which I'll share on Haterade with you guys about it because it expands into a bigger thing. I had a bit on it where I was gonna crack some jokes on Haterade. But yeah, just annoying. The people say, "Oh, you're just hating." So weird. Video always thinks I'm hating because it's an Indian thing. But I was like, "No, it's just like that's like me trying to like claim a Brahmin name. I ain't no fucking Brahmin. Like, what the fuck am I? If I started calling myself a Nate Ganesh, that's Vijay's surname. Like, you bet what the
yeah.
fuck are you claim? You're not Brahmin. What are you trying to claim something you're not?
Can I tell you something with Polish names that pisses me off? So a lot of people, this happened a lot like pre 1980. Is that like so? My last name is Lashinsky, right? Like you see it spelled here, Leszcz. So what a lot of people will do when they move to America is they would change the Z's for H's to be more phonetic in like English. And so
Yeah.
you'll talk to a lot of Polish people who do that. And like that doesn't piss me off. What pisses me off is when they see my name and they
Yeah.
try to do this Polish brotherhood thing with me. And I'm like, you gave up on the name, bro. Your
Yeah, you don't
family
get to
gave up on
claim
the
it. You know,
name.
yeah, you don't get to claim it now, bro, just because you see me rapping it. Like,
Because the name is one of the toughest parts of being Polish. Like I can't tell. People roll their eyes at me when I tell you this. I'm like having to spell like I love Uber Eats because I no longer have to spell out my fucking last name to pizza delivery places. And I keep on like this is actually a funny thing because growing up, this is before Uber Eats. Like my dad, the amount of times I heard him getting into a screaming match with
mm,
the guy at the pizza place because he was just like Thomas L.
yeah,
And the guy was just like,
I see
"What's
that.
L stand for?" And he's just like, "I'm not gonna tell you. It's just Thomas L." And he's like, "No, I need your last name."
I,
And he's
I,
just like, "Why? Why do you need my last name? For what possible fucking
I
reason do
bet
you
you
need
one of
my
the
last
guys I
name?"
now ask him because it's a long name, like, especially if you're all in the same place every weekend. I grew up with Tamil, couple of Tamil guys. Like for them, it was a nightmare with their surnames. I've been pretty lucky. It's a 6-letter surname.
Yeah.
That's my full name right there, Nate Greywald.
It's also phonetic. Gruel.
Yeah, yeah. So
Like you might need to say it's an A instead of an
yeah,
E, but it's pretty
it's easy, like
phonetic.
it's
Yeah.
reasonable, and like other than so Singh would be in the middle, but other than that, that's a very 10 letters for first name and surname combined is pretty fucking good for an Indian. So I'm
Yeah.
quite happy with that. Whereas I've got some friends, my Tamil mates, their surname, oof, rough
It's
work.
let me tell you, man. So when I see people like that, or like another thing that pisses me off is like people who will be like, 1/16 Polish.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
I had a friend who was Brazilian, and she would tell me like her ex. So I made a point one time, and now we're getting into haterade waters, but fuck it, we'll just stop this whenever we feel like it. But like we're talking one time, and I was saying how Polish people don't have allergies. There's no such thing as allergies in the Polish community. And the reason isn't because we have some special genetic makeup. It's because when you're a kid as a Polish person and you tell your parents, I'm not going to eat this food because I'm allergic to it, they just smack the
Sure.
shit out of you until you fucking eat it. You know what I mean? So there's no such thing as an allergy in the Polish community. It doesn't exist, right? And so um, I was saying this, which is a true fact, by the way. By the way, so I worked at a restaurant called Soho House, and I worked at a restaurant that was just like a not blue collar, but a little bit more blue collar. The amount of the allergy differential between a really rich Soho House and a just
Mm.
a blue collar place is just like completely different, right? And I don't think that's like a genetic thing. I think it's anyway. So I was saying this, and this person was just like, "Well, my ex boyfriend was Polish, and he had like five allergies," and I was like, "Okay, was he born in Poland? Well, no. Were his parents born in Poland? No. Were his grandparents born in Poland? No. Sorry, he's not
Mm.
Polish.
America.
I don't care. My children, unless we move to Poland, are not Polish. Like, I'm sorry, you're not. You're not. You're at best American if we raise you in America, but you're not
That's
Polish, in my
the thing,
opinion.
yeah, like, see, it's interesting because obviously I'm Indian, but I'm British more than I'm
Yeah.
Indian. I mean, it's an interesting point. You ask people. Someone told me the other day, I was on the phone with something like, when I hear your voice and then I see your face, I wouldn't put those two things together. Like, not in a
Yeah.
million years. Like, you hear me talk and you just think, which I love. I love that I've got both sides of that. But especially when I was in Vancouver, the number of Indian people like, oh yeah, I listen to this guy or this guy, Indian music. I'm not really big into it. Like, I like the occasional song. I couldn't name you artists. I couldn't name you songs. So then they're like, oh yeah, you're not even really Indian. You're whitewashed. I'm like, I go to the village every fucking year with my dad in February. I speak to them in the language. I play fucking cards and I drink with these motherfuckers. When was the
Well,
last time?
your dad's from India, right?
My dad was born in Africa, East Africa. Like, technically in our family on both sides, no one's been born in India since like maybe my great grandparents. Everyone
But
was actually born in East Africa, and then I was
you
me and my
speak
sister
Hindi
born.
though, right?
We speak Punjabi.
Oh yeah, you speak Punjabi. Okay, well that's a minimal bar, I think.
And I'm
Yeah,
fluent. I'm fluent. My sister
if
can't. I can. Like, of all the grandkids and stuff, I picked it up. I was
yeah,
basically taught it more than anyone else.
yeah, no, I mean I think that qualifies. Like I speak Polish, you know what I mean? But like my kids are probably not gonna speak Polish. They're not fucking
That's the
Polish.
thing. I need to figure out whenever I do have the kids, I'm like, how am I going to teach them Punjabi? Because I'm only going to be swearing. I only really swearing. I can speak it, but that's because grandparents and stuff like they'll be
But
speaking.
are you gonna be are you planning on marrying a Punjabi girl or are you planning on marrying like a
Probably
Latina?
not. Probably not. Let's see. Let's. I'm not even entertaining what I'm marrying. I got to figure that out later on. I got to sort out other bits and bobs.
First of all, it needs to be a Latina. So
I'm not.
like
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing.
we're gonna talk about this with on Haterade, but like the fact that people like talking to you and BJ and other people I know in America and in the Western world feels like talking to a person who lives in a city where they're like flesh eating monkeys that kill like 100 people a day, and I'm just like, just leave. And you're like, well, this is good. And I'm just like,
I
no, no,
would
no,
if I could right now. It's on the part. I've been
leave,
learning Spanish for
leave
two
the flesh eating
years.
monkeys. And it's like so I don't want to blow up the spot of our friend because but like our group chat with our friend where we're talking about this, he was just like, yeah, no, you because I told him like the way our relationship works. He's just like, yeah, that marry a Latina
Yeah.
girl, marry an American girl.
I mean, the logic makes sense. I'm not arguing any of it, and we'll see
Yeah.
what happens in the next couple of years. But for me, it's just that whole Indian thing of like when they're like, because obviously in Vancouver, especially, there's a lot of them, and because they know the music and so on. I'm like, you guys don't even. I have land, but we have familial like heritage land back there. We have to manage. We go back every year. We set the rates because we put it on rent. You get to know the village people. If you
In
drink
India or Africa?
in India, in India,
Oh,
I have
okay.
all my dad's side. A lot of my dad's side on his mother's side are all Africa, like East
Yeah.
Africa, Tanzania. Like my great granddad on my paternal grandmother's side, he like built that fucking town up. So we have, we're like gypsies almost. We have a rich, we traveled a lot. My dad ended up coming here. I'll probably move to the States at some point, raise a
You're more
family there.
like an international corporation
Kind of, yeah,
than,
yeah.
than
Head,
like
no one really
local.
knows where the head office is. Like, we're trying to just pay the least amount of tax we can. So the head office will be wherever. We
Yeah.
won't be in the UK right now with the way the taxes are
Head
going.
office has to be in Latin America
Or
with
Idaho.
me, and we need to drink and watch football in Latin America.
Running a team, it has to be an Argentinian, sorry, team. That's my only Argentinian or Uruguayan. Those are my two requisites.
Yeah, but those are two very expensive countries.
Are they? Because what I'm hearing about Brazil is that a lot of the working class people aren't going to the games, whereas in Argentina, Uruguay, you're still getting those crazy atmospheres We will need that when we run this team.
Why don't we just do Paraguay?
Just one of these, like, not, I don't want to say like a lesser country than Brazil, because I don't think that's the right thing, but
Yeah.
Brazil has always been the spotlight of football. Argentina's close second. Uruguay has also won a World Cup or two. I don't mind going to like Paraguay, just picking a place where it's not, and then turning it into a machine. I have been doing prime time Dion Sanders, like Coach Sanders shit for the last 2 months now. And what he's done at Colorado is unfucking brilliant. He's brilliant. He's fucking.
Can your family's like international corporation buy a Paraguayan team?
We'll figure it out. I mean, we'll find a way. We'll figure it out. If we got to make some friends in Paraguay, and you gotta,
let's see this right now. So Paraguay football.
If I got to have my extended family in Paraguay, like, we'll figure that out. It's not a problem.
So there's a team called National Asuncion. Net worth. National Asuncion Football Club. It doesn't say. Here, I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT.
That's what I've been doing a lot recently.
Fuck, I'm not logged in on this one. All right. I have to have like 5 different browsers, but not like Windows, like types of browsers, because like different things work better with different sites, and my computer's so fucked. How much does an average Paraguayan football club worth? How much is, I guess, but
a couple mil. Anywhere between 5 to 10 USD million, I reckon. To like cover the costs, we'll have to revamp the stadium, probably get the right players in.
5 to 10 million.
Yep, told you.
Roughly. Call up the International Gruo, corporation.
We'll have to figure that out. There'll be some loans, bank loans involved. I know some people. That have some access to some funds or some money. We can get some favorable terms on, I'm sure.
I really think we could run a great football club. I think it'd be
great. Think so too. I think the passion is there.
I speak Spanish.
So I'm getting there. I am getting there. My Duolingo has been on fire recently. So let's see.
All right. Do we have any other big topics?
No, we're just looking forward to the hate rating hopefully the next day or so. Let me know if there's an F1 chat. I know you and Chris will be more knowledgeable.
Yeah,
I'll just sit there and just yell out "fuck Lewis Hamilton" like every 90 seconds or 2 minutes.
So I had to. What did piss me off is that I created an F1 TikTok and then I had to delete it because it was based in Brazil, and so like all of the people viewing my content were in Brazil, which obviously is bad because they speak Portuguese and I'm talking in English. So I had to delete all my videos, but I made this one video. I'm gonna remake it. Just literally, Lewis Hamilton is the worst multiple champion in history. Like he literally
I hate that. He's such a prick.
Yeah. All right, dude. Here, I'll stop recording. The people who came here for football have stopped listening to football.
It's nice.